Ernie, can you just maybe tell us some of your history with Victory School, your recollections of being a young man there, and maybe a few of your stories?
Oh, it was a great school, real great school. There was harmony in there, harmony with the teachers, harmony with each individual. We had a school cry, you know, a school cheer. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
It's pretty exciting. You might want to jump up it. Okay? It was chick-a-lacka, chick-a-lacka, chick-a-lacka chew, boom-a-lacka, boom-a-lacka, boom-a-lacka boo, hazzle-gazzle, razzle-dazzle, zis-boom-bat, victory, victory, rah-rah-rah, B-I-C-T-O-R-Y, victory, hooray!
Right on. And so, how long did that was for your whole career? That was there for as long as you can remember?
Yes, yes, oh yes.
And I think that we will be seeing that again later this year.
Oh, I hope so. It was very important to us students.
What year did you go to school? Start there.
I started in 1928. I was 5 years old. You have to be 5 then.
Yeah. Okay. And was there a kindergarten then, or did you go?
Yes, it wasn't called kindergarten, junior, primer, something of that nature. Yeah. Miss Vincent was the teacher. I remember I said a bad word once. I heard it outside. Some of the older boys, and some of the boys laughed. I thought it was funny. It wasn't too funny. The girl I said it to, she put up her hand and said, Miss Vincent, Ernest said a bad word. So she called me up, said, what did you say? I told her, which that's bad. We have to get rid of that, don't we? I said, yes, not realizing what was going to happen. She took me into the washroom, got a wet cloth, rubbed cast steel soap on it, stick out your tongue. I did, and she thoroughly took that word away. I remember I went home at school was over, and my mother asked me what happened at school today, and I told her what happened. And I said a bad word, and she said, what word did you say? So I told her I couldn't tell her. She said, why not? I said, Miss Vincent washed it away. Oh, that was Miss Vincent. She was a sweetheart.
I hope people think of teachers like that after they do that. Oh. Any other teachers you remember?
Well, Harry Tate. Harry was a terrific teacher. Well, they all were in public school and Victory School. I recall he used to have evenings, like parties, Christmas and New Year's, that sort of thing. And the boys would line up. This was be junior fourth, senior fourth. That's grade 8, I think now. The boys would line up inside the room. The girls would line up outside the classroom. And there was one boy and girl, they were little sweethearts together, I guess. And he always made certain he was number 1, and she made certain she was number 1 outside. Harry got wind of it, I don't know how, and turned them right around. And so the boy was not able to sit with his girlfriend, and he was very unpleased with who he had to sit with.
That was good. Any other stories with Harry? I think there's one that you might want to tell.
Well, there's a couple about Mr. Cox. I got to tell you about him. Oh, he was a sweetheart. He was a janitor. And he came in the classroom, and when I just opened the door, walked in, said something to Mr. Tate. And this was all set up. I didn't know this. And Mr. Tate said, okay, look after it. Mr. Cox leaves. He looked at the class, he said, we need someone to go uptown to get a wrench for Mr. Cox, a left-handed monkey wrench. we all knew what the monkey wrench was. So we all put up our hands. So he looks at me and said, Ernie, do you have all your work done? I said, yes, sir. We said, you go now. He said, hurry, because he wants it. Tell Fenn's Hardware that it's for Victory School, and you want a left-handed monkey wrench. I did. Well, they just laughed me crazy when I asked them for it. Now I got to go back to school and try and sneak in the classroom. You've never heard such a roar of laughter when I walked in. So, but Mr. Cox, we'd throw the ball up on the roof at recess. There was a parapet about that high, all around the flat roof. And we'd say, stand on your head. And he would stand on his head on that parapet on top of Victory School.
I'd read about that, and what a character. He's lucky to be alive.
He'd wheel out ashes and then stand on his head.
Now, was it coal heat back then?
Yes, soft coal. Slabs in the summer, fall, we had slabs. That's what we used to make the hurdles out of when we had field day, each year.
And you'd use coal for the hurdle? Or what would you use?
Oh, no. For the hurdles, we used the slabs. And on Friday, let the cadets, we had a cadet group there, and we had to saw them and nail them together for a hurdle, for jumping.
Right.
It was quite a day, a full day of games, and I remember horse tuttle. We had high jump, broad jump, pole vaulting, slow bicycle race, three-legged race, all the games. Horse took a run at the broad jump, fell back, and his arm got twisted some way, and he broke it. He kind of put the damper on the thing then, but the games went on. He had us up once with a home and school club, and he made us, we had to be Suedo cowboys, and if he didn't have them, well, he got them made. John Herdman, matter of fact, made me a pair out of an old tent I had. And anyway, we were all together on the stage. And it was a portable stage. And we had to sing Big Rock Candy Mountain. And you know that song, Big Rock Candy Mountain, where you never change your socks and little streams of alcohol come trickling down the rock. Well, Harry didn't like the alcohol. So we had to sing little streams of ginger ale come trickling down the rock.
So where would you have done that then? Where would the performance have been?
Right in the classroom.
Oh, okay.
Right in the classroom.
There was no gym at that time.
No, the basement was just wide open. The only thing down the basement was on the girls' side the washrooms, and on the boys' side. We used to use the basement in the cadets firing the rifles.
And how long, what was your range for that? Like, how long was it? I know one of the classrooms that was supposedly the range, and it's not that big.
No, it'd be 30 feet, maybe, give or take. Right. And one of them, Laurie McClure, was very efficient with it, with the rifle, and he won the Lord Strathcona Medal for sharpshooting. And he was in the tank corps during the war, I believe.
So, any other Cox stories, Mr. Cox stories?
Oh, he was just something else. He'd just open the door and wave. You know, the teacher's teaching, the teachers laughed at it too. You know, it's a very, very friendly school. And Harry Tate was, just the epitome of proficiency in not only teaching, but in humor. If you made a joke, unintentionally, in an answer, it went on a piece of paper and was read out at the party. For instance, one lady, or one girl, well, she's a lady now, of course, Harry asked what sausage was made of. And instead of saying the two words, separately, she said it together. She said groundhog. Well, it is groundhog. So it's little things like that. A fellow was asked what aluminium was, and he said it's aluminum before it is. Oh, it was some great little giggles, you know.
Yeah. And did they have teams that played against other schools or anything like that? Or was it just because there were not that many schools then?
There wasn't that many schools in Parry Sound. There was just the two. The high school was right against the railroad track where William Beatty School is now. I think we had 5 rooms. Yes, because 5th form. And they're called forms then. And we had the lab.
Right.
Yeah, I know by what I can understand, different, we were called harbor bums. And people going to the Parry Sound School, it was, they were called sound sucks. So it was a little bit of friction between us. But what I could make out, a lot of them said they wish they'd have gone to Victory School.
Right. Well, there's certainly anybody that's been there has a great fondness for Victory School. You've sort of mentioned that staff and kids, it just seems people work together there. Like, I think that's still the way it is. Do you think maybe that's a legacy of Harry Tate?
I think so, very much so. He wanted a happy school. In the mornings when we started, he always, we sang O Canada, and he'd always read from the Bible. And that was part of the curricula in those days. When you graduated from senior 4th, which is grade 8, to go into high school, when you come back at noon, all the names were put on the blackboard. And he'd give you just a little stuff to do, you know. Then you get up, he'd take the eraser and he'd rub a name off. That person passed without writing the examination. The odd time he took it off, he'd walk 3 paces away, and that guy would, yeah. And he'd say, oh, sorry, and he'd put the name back on, which he would rub out later. And one year he said, each year I have said, if all the class pass into high school, I will give them class pins. We all pass without, on our year's work, except 5. I won't tell you who they are, but they passed, and he gave us class pins. I gave mine to Jerry Peaver to put in there is the case there.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
It's still there, I bet.
Yeah, but that was Harry Tate. It's just honest, upright person, touchable person, and which we have a lot of them now, you included.
Thanks. So what does Victory mean to you now? Like, now that you know it's closing, and how does that affect you?
Sadness. Yeah. There's so many memories. I can drive by and see us all out standing in front of the school on Labor Day, Canada Day, and Miss Vincent leading us in singing. You ken John Peel, Scotty saw you, and I can still see that. And you stop, and it's so sad. If they do tear it down, that you can't go there and take a chunk of wood in memory.
Well, and you never know, maybe that is a possibility. I know lots of people have said they'd like those banisters.
A former vice principal of the school in I can't think of the name, William Beatty, said to me the other day that it'd be nice to take them down, to cut them about that big, little pieces, and just put the student's name on.
That'd be very labor intensive.
It would be.
A lot of students have gone through that building over the course of 90-something years.
Yeah, it just, we used to march in, you know, boys on one side, girls on the other, and Miss Vincent playing the piano.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah, used to, and of course recess, if it was raining or blowing snow, it went down the basement, you know. They and shot the breeze, and Mr. Cox would come along and entertain you.
Right. That's good. What was discipline like back then?
I don't want to use the word severe. It was quite prominent, but it was discipline like you discipline your child. It was discipline with love. We got the strap. I know, I can tell you that. And it wasn't done with hatred. I'm sure that it was done with, we must do this. We must correct you. You know.
So no hard feelings.
No, oh no, no.
You're saying you deserved it.
I remember one boy got the strap, and he come out of the cloakroom. You could hear, you know, the slap, and he walked back, and the boy in the back seat, he got to the back seat, to up the front, and the boy said, "Did he hurt you?" Said the boy's name. He said, "No, she couldn't hurt me." She was one step behind him, tapped him on the shoulder, wiggled her finger, back they went. She hurt him. But that was just the odd case that would happen. He thought he was being smart, you know.
Any other thoughts or memories or comments?
I got a lot of good thoughts of the school, and the teachers were loving and caring. And like I said, discipline was discipline, and it was for your own good.
Because of your work with the Legion, you've been involved with Victory School almost your whole life, in one way or another.
Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah.
And the other schools.
Yeah, yeah, but for sure the other schools as well.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah, they, and you feel so proud. There was a song, I don't know where, from the United States. It was one of the college songs about walk through the hallowed halls. And when you walk in Victory School, it's like that.
Nice.
Oh yeah, and you think of people that are long gone, that, gee whiz, you know.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very sad day.
Yeah, it is.
And for the teachers too. You have to think of the teachers. Even in today's society, you have to think of teachers. I don't think we do. We don't think enough of them, what they do for us, how they discipline us so nicely. You know, no yelling, and they deserve a lot of credit too, you know.